Hello everybody and welcome back for some weekly VR news where I keep you up to date on everything going on in the VR industry, prepare you for this week's upcoming VR game releases, and then focus in on a few major stories. Today we have some really interesting new VR tech to check out, including new haptic gloves, a budget-friendly and truly unique facial tracker, a new headset from HTC that's set to compete with the Quest 2, and finally there's plenty of game information to go over. Now there are of course links and timestamps down in the description, but before we jump in, this video is brought to you by my sponsor, Kiwi Design. They carry accessories for all of your VR needs, from Quest to Elite straps, battery packs, upgradable controller straps, replacement facial inserts, cable management systems, and I'm very happy to announce their brand new all-in-one RGB stand. Your headset and controllers magnetically connect. There's plenty of options for the RGB lighting, and an indicator that lets you know when your headset and controllers are fully charged. There's a link to Kiwi down in the description if you want to check out their products, and don't forget to use discount code Mateo311 for 5% off and to help support this channel. Okay, so this week's of new releases is unsurprisingly small, and the only title coming our way is Gods of Gravity. This arcadey RTS title was previously only available from App Lab, but it's getting an official Metastore release this week. Battle and multiplayer modes with 2 to 8 players, where you fight to control the solar system and eliminate your opponents. You can team up with your friends to play against bots, and the built-in spatial voice chat is perfect for socializing or taunting your enemies. Now, if multiplayer isn't your style, there's a full single-player campaign where you'll take over the galaxy one solar system at a time and unlock new gods with game-changing powers. I'm yet to test out this game myself, but I've heard really good things, and go ahead right now and let me know down in the comments if you'd like me to review this title. Now, next up, we have a surprise update for the classic PCVR experience, theBlue. theBlue dropped you right into the ocean, and you got to experience some of nature's biggest creatures up close and personal. Now, previously, this title was available for $9.99 and gave you 3 separate experiences, but now the original Vail encounter has been made free to play, and the 2 other experiences originally included in the base game have now become $1.99 DLC packages, and the developers have just introduced a 4th experience called Hammerhead Cove. They've also made a handful of additional updates, so if you're looking for a cool VR experience, go download theBlue right now for free. Now, if theBlue isn't enough action for you, we have some information on the roadmap for the competitive shooter Vail VR. Vail is currently available in early access as a PCVR only title, and the studio completely understands they have a lot of work to do to grow their player base. Currently sitting at roughly 80 peak players per day, they're working hand in hand with their community to build a better game. Now, I have seen this in action, and they have frequent Discord calls where they allow members of their community to speak up and ask additional questions. As it stands right now, developers Lab are looking to incorporate user-generated content and blend the lines between casual and competitive. And while I definitely agree with this approach for overall growth, I just feel like the studio is once again contradicting themselves and attempting to be a jack of all trades. Previously, they jumped on a metaverse bandwagon. Then it was, no, this is a competitive esports VR game. And now it's back to, this is a casual experience with user-generated content. Well, I guess we'll just have to wait and see what happens to the game in this year. Now, another surprising update is for A Song in the Smoke, which is getting a PlayStation VR 2 remaster that will rival the graphics on the PCVR version. Now, if you own something like an HP Reverb G2 and an RTX 4090, you're probably wondering, how exactly is that possible? Well, when a game's designed for PC, developers target the average hardware out there, and they rarely take advantage of the best of the best. So the PlayStation VR 2 is actually more capable than the average PC VR setup out there, and the fact that the developers know the exact hardware that will be used allows for some significant optimization. Now, the developers have stated this is a significant overhaul, which was a ton of work and includes higher resolution assets. And in their own words, this is now the ultimate edition. Making things even better, this will be a PlayStation VR 2 release title, and the developers are trying to make the original game a free update to the PlayStation VR 2 version, but they're not 100% sure regarding the logistics on that one. But if you were hoping for a great survival title on the PlayStation VR 2, Song in the Smoke has you covered. Okay, so we have one more bit of gaming news before we move into the new hardware, and this is for anyone looking for some discounted games. Today, January 2nd, is the last day to get in on some Meta New Year's sales. Plenty of titles are discounted from 10 to 35%, and I'll just give you some of my personal favorites. The boxing title Thrill of the Fight is currently $7.50, and if you're looking to break a sweat and get some intense action, I highly recommend this game. The Walking Dead Saints and Sinners is great for all the horror fans. You could get some amazing story-driven action with Vader Immortal, as the 3-pack is 30% off. Probably the best bang for your buck is either the Survival Mode pack or a Fight and Flight pack, where the former includes Green Hell, Into the Radius, and Red Matter 2 for only $60, or you can get Warplanes, Gorn, and After the Fall for $55.99. And a few other great titles you might want to consider are Resident Evil 4, Contractors, and Bone Lab. But honestly, the majority of games are discounted right now, and if you've been eyeballing any games, this is your last chance to head over to the Quest store. Okay, so let's get into that hardware news, starting with Meta yet again acquiring another company. This time it's glass lens creator Luxexcel. Currently, Luxexcel is 3D printing prescription lenses, but it looks like Meta wants to use their experience for AR headsets and their eventual AR glasses. Now, I never know exactly how to feel anytime Meta acquires someone. I do like the idea of new technology entering the XR market, but I hate the fact that it's all owned by one company. And competitive practices like this sometimes truly end up screwing over the user. If there's only one game in town, they could charge anything they want. But we're still currently a long way off from AR glasses, so we'll just wait to see what Meta gives us in the future. Now, some other companies are breaking into the XR haptics market, and the first product is truly intriguing. How does 95% accurate, full facial tracking for only $90 sound? Well, that's what the X mask plans to do. It's a 4.5 ounce mask that could track all of your facial movements with only 200 milliseconds of latency. Currently, cameras are the most common method for facial tracking, but they can be hard to add into the small form factor of a VR headset and add some additional significant cost. Now, a face mask being a better alternative is yet to be seen, but it's roughly 35% cheaper than Vive's facial tracker and a lot less bulky. But comfort and hygiene could be an issue with this product. While it doesn't restrict your breathing, we do know how about half of the US feels about mask wearing, and if it's not easy to clean, I predict some massive pimples in your future. But it's always nice to have alternative options, and we'll soon find out if this one's viable. Now, another product doing things differently is the LED skin from AI Silk. These gloves are designed for both finger tracking and haptic feedback, and do both in a rather unique way. The expansion and contraction of the glove's fabric is used in conjunction with deep learning to understand your relative hand position. And when it comes to haptic feedback, electrical pulses are being sent to both your fingers and palm. This is intended to replicate physical contact, and I'm really curious how these gloves actually perform. Well, we'll learn more later this week as they're being shown off at CES. Just like today's final piece of hardware, HTC's new headset. Thanks to Sadly It's Bradley, it's currently nicknamed the Focus, and we have a decent idea in terms of what to expect for the overall hardware. Before we get into that though, we need to discuss the fact that this was supposedly a return to consumer products for HTC. For many OG VR gamers who jumped in right away once a consumer VR product was available, they either picked up an Oculus Rift or the HTC Vive. Now, in many ways, the Vive was the initial frontrunner because out of the box it delivered a 360-degree experience, and it was also made in conjunction with Valve, which is obviously a very big name in the gaming industry. But over time, that relationship went a bit sour, and HTC's focus moved from consumer to enterprise, especially after they dropped the ball with the Vive Cosmos. Now, it's been reported that the new headset would be a Quest 2 competitor, but the latest information indicates this is a Quest Pro competitor and will not be consumer friendly because it will have a $1,400 price tag. Now, all hope is not completely lost though. It might actually be coming with some major upgrades. For starters, it may actually have an XR2 Gen 2 chip inside. Now, if that's actually true, this would be the most powerful standalone VR headset, significantly more powerful than the Quest 2 and Quest Pro. It also appears to have a modular design, so the back strap can be removed, and you might be able to use it as a native PCVR headset, or possibly attach it to a phone, allowing it to function like their Vive Flow. The visual experience will be very similar to the Vive Pro, with 1920 by 1920 LCD panels that run up to 120 Hz, and those new style pancake lenses. And they're also including an RGB AR pass-through camera, but it looks like they're foregoing eye and facial tracking. Now, I honestly never expected a cheap headset from HTC, and when you consider the fact that their Vive Flow sells for $500, doesn't come with controllers, and only includes an XR1 chip, and their closest product to the Quest 2 is the Vive Focus, which sells for $1,300, I 100% believe the new rumors that this headset is called the Vive XR Elite and will be $1,400. But Sadly It's Bradley was 100% on the money when he called it the Focus, because it really is a combination of the Focus and the Flow. And if it really does have an XR2 Gen 2, it definitely would be serious competition for the Quest Pro. But let me know what you guys think down in the comments. If you have absolutely zero interest in HTC's headset now, were you expecting something different or a cheaper price tag? Please let me know right now. And if you enjoyed this video, go ahead and give it a thumbs up. If you're new here, consider subscribing. And as always, I'll see you guys on next time.